On a daily basis, NHS staff are dealing with life or death situations under extreme staffing pressures because these Tories decided to make it impossible for our highly skilled foreign workers to keep working in the very country that needs and wants them here. Under the Tories, NHS vacancies and waiting lists have soared. The public cannot access the care they need and deserve. This is also that it's easy for the Tories to privatise the NHS. We aren't completely protected here in Scotland from this. Last year, private companies were invited to bid on 1,500 medical procedures in Scotland.
Scotland to hear two right-wing extremists tell them their plan to continue serving their own interests, that of their friends in big business, and how they're going to carry on with their programme of crippling austerity. But there are people outside that building here tonight from all over Scotland that have come to say things have got to change, to say that we refuse to be exploited any longer and that we are going to question those that hold power and wield influence in our society. Among the outrageous lies they will tell in there tonight are that wages are driving inflation up. The truth is, wages are chasing prices, not prices chasing wages. And inflation is happening because supply chains are not coping. We'll also deal with a global health emergency coupled with rampant profits and out-and-out Tory greed.
Boris Johnson, I call him a serial shagger, a liar. Boris Johnson, yesterday was the anniversary where Britain abandoned the people of Afghanistan. I, as a refugee from Afghanistan, want to say this: shame on you.
As you have probably gathered, the seam of talent in the Tory party runs horrendously shallow. And from a field originally touted as highly diverse, but actually all sharing the same depressing characteristics of being wealthy, privileged, totally out of touch with ordinary people, and wannabe Thatcherites.
We're down to the last two vacuous charlatans, and we still haven't seen evidence of the barest Scooby in either of their minds about how to deal with the cost of living crisis that's already beginning to engulf us all. Those of you with even short memories will recall that we were here 3 years ago in exactly the same place when the helicopters buzzed overhead as we watched the serried ranks of Scottish Conservatives trooping into Perth Concert Hall to select the 2019 version of a growing line of Prime Ministers to be foisted on us. That time, they picked the laziest, most mendacious, duplicitous, unreliable, useless, dishevelled sack of garden fertiliser you could possibly imagine. Great call, guys! And now, here we are this evening. Who in their wildest dreams would have guessed that now they'd be standing on the threshold of selecting someone even worse? And this is Scotland in microcosm. Politics being done to us without our consent, with zero benefit to us by a small group of people who don't represent us in the interests of a party we haven't voted for in my entire lifetime, and I am old. Thank you very much. Of course, whilst it's the Tories particularly in receipt of the breakbacks from us tonight, we mustn't forget the other side of the Westminster equation, the increasingly rightward-drifting Labour Party, the other cheek of the well-upholstered establishment Bahuki. Anyone who's recently sniffed the air in North Lanarkshire will know how cosily and noxiously Tory and Labour councillors will work together to thwart the intentions of local voters. Both of those parties and their occasional enablers, the Lib Dems, have but a a single response to Scotland's wish to decide its own future, expressed in election after election. No, you can't. We will elect you. You're ours to do what we like with. Didn't even think about it. We no longer hear any case for the Union. That has ceased to be. It has shuffled off its mortal coil. It's gone to join the choir invisible. But so, along with it, has the Project Fear that in 2014 we were constantly getting slapped around the face with. Now we can and we must clearly articulate the argument that any and all risks attached to Scottish independence are heavily, heavily outweighed by the drawbacks of staying in this toxic union. I bet you that even some of the Tory electors going into the concert hall tonight know this in their heart of hearts. Are they really happy with the choice they've got? Are they truly comfortable with Scotland constantly being disrespected and dismissed? The Bards may be dressed up as being against the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon, but the tone of contempt runs a lot deeper. They must know in their heart of hearts that the status quo is not sustainable. Something has to give, and we need to reach out to them in the next year and a bit, as we do to every one of our fellow citizens, to get that message across. Independence will not be a walk in the park. Thanks to the cost of the Union, it's looking as if we'll start off with a heavily compromised economy. There will be difficulties for us along the way, but Scotland will deal with them as all nations do. What independence absolutely is our best, possibly our only chance of getting out of the morass we're in as part of the UK. Yeah. But more importantly, it gives us an opportunity of becoming the nation we all know we can be, a valuable member of and contributor to the international community, fully in charge of our own destiny, but happily independent, or rather interdependent, with others. A partner, not a prisoner, not a possession. Let's get that message out, let's convince the doubters, and let's make it happen. Thank you very much.